This episode of Around the Oval is brought to you by Todd Pennington with Revolution Mortgage.
Hey, Ohio State fans, Alex Gleitman here, back with another edition of Around the Oval, brought to you by Todd Pennington with Revolution Mortgage. We have a very special guest with us this week. We've had him on the show before, but we're bringing him back again as recruiting heats up for the class of 2023. Don Bosco Prep out of Ramsey, New Jersey's Chase Bisontis, one of the top offensive linemen in the country, probably top of the board guy for Ohio State, remaining in this 2023 class. Chase, appreciate your time. Thanks for joining the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Before we dive into your recruiting stuff, I know you've been working real hard, training on your game, trying to get better, get ready for your senior season, as well as, prepare for the next level after that. Tell us a little bit, how's your offseason been going so far?
It's been going real good. I've been working out 5, maybe sometimes six days a week. Working at Don Bosco, working a little bit pre-C, and my coach, Coach Simmons. So been working real hard, get my body in shape, get ready for the next level.
Nice. And what's your height and weight right now?
So yesterday I weighed 6'5" and 304.
304. Wow.
Yeah.
You certainly don't look like that. You carry that weight really well.
Yeah.
What's your ideal weight, heading into the season or by the time you get to college, I guess I should say?
Into this season, I just want to stay like 305, as lean as possible, as move as best I can. But by college, it's probably around 315 or wherever they really feel I'm more comfortable with.
Gotcha. And, as far as the actual parts of your game that you've been working on, tell us a little bit about the things you've been focusing on to improve this offseason, and what part of your game do you feel is taking a big leap from your junior season into your senior season?
Yeah, I've been working a lot, like lower body, trying to bend better, my ankles, feet, footwork. I feel like last year I definitely struggled in the pass game, not where I wanted it to be. So this year I've been working real hard on it, and it should be better this year too. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, we're excited to get out and see you guys this year. You guys should have a good squad and be really competitive. You obviously had a great year last year, and, expect you to be really competitive again and go for that state title. Let's shift a little bit to recruiting. I know you've been pretty busy taking a lot of visits this spring, seeing a lot of schools that maybe you haven't seen. How's recruiting been going for you? How's that process been?
It's been going much better now that a couple months ago I dropped the top 8, got to narrow down my list a little bit. So it's been going much better. School's coming in, school watch us work out, talk to my head coach. So it's been going well.
Yeah, and just so for those listening and watching, if you're not familiar with Chase's top 8, Ohio State, Texas A&M, Rutgers, Miami, Florida, Georgia, University of Texas, LSU, and Michigan State. No particular order, just reading it off of his graphic as he put it on there. Have you been to every single one of those schools now after this round of spring visits?
Except the 2 Texas schools. But
the 2 Texas schools.
States, yes.
Are you planning to get down there, or is that kind of a maybe, depending on how things shake out with your official visits, which I know we'll get into in just a second here?
Yeah, but still deciding on those. I don't plan on taking any more unofficials, but possibly official, yes.
Gotcha. And, I know those spring visits you told me, because I kept asking you, I know you were at Ohio State last summer.
Mm-hmm.
You obviously got to see them up close. I think you were at the Rutgers Ohio State game past year. So you got to see them play at least. I know it's not the same as going to Ohio State. You haven't been back to Columbus since then, but you did get out. I know you're at Rutgers a lot. That's obviously an easy one for you, pretty close to your home. But you got to go out to Miami, Georgia, LSU. Obviously, we're at Michigan State as well. Just, you don't need to go into detail on every single one of those visits, but just tell us, what was that experience like? How were those visits for you?
It was awesome because, seeing those top 8 schools, or the 6 that I did get to see, it got to help me narrow down and see what I like and what I don't like, and if I see myself going there and where I want to do in the future with them or without them.
Yeah, it definitely gives you, as I said, you've obviously had been to Rutgers, you had been to Ohio State. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure seeing those, it was good to be able to give you a base of comparison to the schools that you were a little bit more familiar with. Yeah. Now, we just mentioned it a little bit. Let's tell everyone listening, watching, what is your plan for this summer? No more unofficial visits. You're going to focus on official visits. You get 5 of them. Are you going to take all 5 this summer?
You know, as of right now, I'm still unsure. It's looking like it though, just to see all of them. But I will tell you this, that I do plan on committing in July, try to get it over with before my senior season starts. So I don't know how that's going to affect them if I do take all 5 or not, but it'll definitely put my thought into it.
Yeah. So the goal is take some visits in June
Yeah.
and then make a decision in July after you got a chance to see however many schools of the 8 that you decide you need a little bit of a closer look at.
I also know that there's a dead period for the officials, so I have to keep consideration into that as well.
Yeah, for sure. And you told me this before the show, but as far as official visits go, you know, are there any that you're 100% sure you're going to be taking? Do you have any scheduled yet? Tell everyone listening a little bit about where that stands.
You know, I'm really not so sure yet. I've been thinking about it a lot. Like I haven't gone on a visit in maybe 3 weeks, but for me that's honestly a long time. So it's just been good to clear my head and think about it.
So probably over, you know, June is now, you know, we're recording this May 15th. June's 2 weeks away at this point. Is that something you're probably looking to figure out sometime in the next couple of weeks?
Yeah. You know, this Saturday I should have a top 5 coming out this weekend. So that's gonna have all the 5 in it.
Okay. So this coming Saturday, which is going to be May 21st, Chase will be dropping his finalized list of visits or top 5, I guess I should say. And then, you know, maybe we'll find out about his official visit dates shortly after that, but we'll definitely keep you posted on Buckeye Scoop and be sure to follow him on Twitter, which is his Twitter. If you don't follow him already, definitely give him a follow at Chase Bisontis. So, Chase, let's talk a little bit about Ohio State before we kind of end the show. We talked about your decision timeline. We'll get to kind of what's most important to you, but I want to talk about Ohio State because they've been recruiting you for a long time. And the last time you were on campus, it was Coach Stud as the O-line coach, and Coach Cook was kind of helping him out as the GA. I mean, his time's up. That just happens with GAs, but they made a change on the O-line. You know, Coach Stud is out. I know you had a pretty solid relationship with him. Before we get into Coach Frye and your relationship there, how much did that impact, you know, your view of Ohio State with that change with Coach Stud to Coach Frye?
You know, at first, like Ohio State was one of my real top schools. So then when that changed, it kind of made me think a little bit. But at the end of the day, like I guess all recruits gotta know it's a business, and like coaches change there and there. But Ohio State's definitely up there, and I've been talking to Coach Day a lot too. So it's been going well since the change.
Yeah, it's such a hard thing for you guys because the position coach is probably the person you're going to be spending the most time with on a day-to-day. But at the end of the day, as you said, like you could be 1 year in and then your O-line coach can leave and go to the NFL or get an OC job, or they can, you know, decide to make a change or whatever it is. So you kind of have to pick a school for not just the position coach or not just that, like there's so many factors involved. So I can't even imagine how hard that is, but let's talk about the guy that came in for Coach Stud. I know Coach Frye came over from UCLA. I know he's made you a priority, or you're one of his top targets on his board from day one. Talk a little bit about, and I know Don Bosco was one of the first places he stopped when he was able to get out on the road. Talk a little bit about your relationship with him, how that's going, how often do you talk with him, and what do you think of him as their new O-line coach?
Yeah, I like Coach Frye. I hear all great things about him. Again, I'll say I've been talking to Luke Whippler a lot, New Jersey guy, and he tells me all these great things about him. So it's definitely good to hear that like he's happy there, because if he wasn't happy, that'd be obviously bad. But no, Coach Frye, what Luke says, he's very smart. Coach Frye definitely, I talk to him on the phone at least maybe once a week. But he's always texting me, send me graphics, send me some clips. And he also comes to school a lot. He watches me work out, look at some of the other guys, and talks to my head coach, Coach Dan Sabella. And my head coach only has good things to say about him. And Coach Day also came with him one time too. So it shows a lot.
Nice. Awesome. And then that's the last thing I was going to ask you about Ohio State. You know, Tyler Friday, obviously a Don Bosco guy. I mean, in the past, they even had Kevin Fetter, but right on the roster now, you mentioned Tyler Friday, Javante Jean-Baptiste, Luke Whippler, Cody Simon. I mean, there's a lot of guys, from the former, I still call it the Big North, from where you play that come to play, college football at Ohio State. And, there's some guys in your class, Jaden Bonsu from St. Peter's Prep, who might end up at Ohio State too, right? So how nice is it for you? How much more comfortable does it make you to have guys like that came from kind of that same background of you and where you're playing high school ball? Ronnie Hickman being another one too. Like, how comfortable from DePaul, how comfortable does that make you with Ohio State being able to go away from home and still kind of have a little piece of home with you there?
Yeah, no, it's definitely good. Luke said it's not much different from New Jersey, and it's not like it's a southern school, so I feel like real comfortable, and my visit went real well.
Nice. That's good to hear. And, Ohio State, we'll see how it goes on Saturday. Ohio State fans obviously are hoping they make that cut to 5 and get a visit this summer, and you have a chance to get back out there, sit down with Coach Day, Coach Frye, but they'll have to see how that one goes. Let's wrap it up and talk about your decision. Your timeline, you mentioned July. That's when you'd like to make your decision, but these are 8 tremendous schools. I mean, they're a lot of them are very different too, but they all are some of the top schools in college football. Some of them have new coaches and, some exciting culture. Some of them, like, Ohio State and Georgia, are kind of like longstanding powers that are competing for national championships year in and year out. When it ultimately comes time for you, your family, Coach Sabella, like everyone who's involved in that decision to sit down and help you make that decision, what's going to be the most important things for you when picking that school out of these final 8?
I gotta say, like, the O-line development, because like my ultimate goal would be to hopefully be a first round pick or be in the league. So who's gonna help me get there, and then who also is gonna help me be the best human I could be off the field, type of thing. So.
Awesome, Chase. Well, listen, man, we appreciate your time. You got a tough decision ahead of you, but it seems like you're taking the next step in this next week, and we'll be excited to see who get those 5 visits and see where things go from there.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
This episode of Around the Oval was brought to you by Todd Pennington with Renovation Mortgage. If you've been thinking about refinancing or buying a house, check out our sponsor, Todd Pennington with Revolution Mortgage. They offer low rates for refinancing and home purchase loans, including first-time home buyer programs, down payment assistance, and cash-out home equity loans. Check out revolutionmortgage.com/tpennington.